The sun streamed through the grand windows of their luxurious living room, casting soft shadows over the elegant furniture. David sat on the sleek leather couch, his face calm and collected. Across from him, Catherine stood by the window, her back to him, gazing out at the sprawling view. She was tense, her body language full of impatience and anticipation. "You're not going to get away with this, David," she said, her voice edged with frustration. "I know the house is worth millions." David didn't flinch. He leaned back, his gaze steady. "It's not just about the house, Catherine. You're too focused on the wrong things." The words hung in the air, thick with unspoken tension. In a flash, the scene shifted to a courtroom, the lights harsh and unforgiving. Catherine's lawyer was on his feet, pointing accusingly at David. "He's hiding assets, Your Honor. He's not being fair," the courtroom murmured. But David remained stoic. He looked up, calm and collected, his eyes never wavering from the lawyer. "I've been more than fair," David said softly, his words deliberate, unwavering. That night, in the privacy of his office, David's fingers hovered over his computer, the glow from the screen illuminating his face. He was working on something clever, something hidden. As the numbers lined up, he allowed himself a small smile. This wasn't about the money, it was about control. He whispered to himself, "She won't see this coming." The next day, Catherine entered David's office with all the confidence of someone who believed she had already won. "You're pathetic, David," she mocked. "Did you really think you could outsmart me?" David stood up, his calm demeanor never changing. His eyes met hers, unwavering. "I never thought I'd have to, but it seems I do." He handed her an envelope, the weight of it heavier than she expected. As she opened it, her face changed, shifting from smugness to confusion. Inside, she found everything: the truth about David's maneuvering, the legal tricks he had played to leave her with nothing. Shock turned her expression cold. You did this?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper, as if trying to make sense of it all. David's eyes remained cold. "Everything you fought for is gone, Catherine. You pushed me to this." Later that day, in a quiet park, Catherine confronted him. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows. She was furious, pacing back and forth, her anger barely contained. "You're nothing without me. You think you're better than me?" David stood still, his hands in his pockets, watching her with a detached calmness. "No," he said, his voice cool. "I just know how to play the game better." As Catherine walked away, her head low, she knew she had lost. The once vibrant confidence she had was now replaced with something darker. Regret, perhaps. David stood there, watching her retreat, his heart calm. He had won, but it felt like an empty victory. In his office, David sat back in his chair, the weight of the past few months lifting. The room around him was quiet, peaceful. He could feel the shift, the calm that had settled after the storm. For a brief moment, a smile crossed his face. "It was never about the money," he whispered, to himself. "It was about respect." Catherine, however, was not so peaceful. Sitting in her new, sparse apartment, the weight of her own choices sank in. The luxury she had once taken for granted was now gone, leaving only regret. Her face, once filled with triumph, was now a mask of sorrow. "I lost everything," she muttered, her voice thick with pain. David walked down the street, the sun setting behind him. He was free. The weight of the past was behind him, and ahead of him lay a future that he controlled. He thought to himself, it was never about the money, it was about taking back control. And with that, the past faded away and David walked on, leaving it all behind.